Next point. Luca Blight was a goddamn beast. This man, yes, he had the Beast Rune. But when I say he had the Beast Rune, it wasn't on him. He was not infused with it. He did not use it particularly regularly. In fact, if I remember correctly, the Beast Rune was primarily used as a military tool rather than a personal one, like, say, the Sun Rune would be later in Suikoden 5. No. Luca Blight was just a goddamn beast. He was... you have to understand, this guy has been given the best death sequence, in my opinion, of just about any video game villain ever. And it spans forever because you beat him down. You have this coalition of forces, not to beat Highland. This coalition was not forged to beat Highland. This coalition was forged to beat Luca Blight. You are there to beat one man. And you shoot him with arrows, and you beat down his forces, and you fight him in the RPG battle, and then he runs. I shouldn't even say run. He walks off, and you go after them, and he gets shot by arrows again, and then you fight him again, and then you duel him, and it just keeps going. He takes forever to die because he is just that much of a monster. He is just that much of a badass that he just keeps going. And you finally bring him down, and he just is just laughing at you because you know what? Hang on. I actually wrote down the words from his death scene because again speaking to the base vocabulary and just the emphasis of this guy. He says, "Even if you kill me, even if you defeat Highland, you won't have peace. You'll have defeated country, screaming for our vengeance." And then he just laughs for like 6 solid blocks of text. You know what I'm talking about? When it's 6 of them. I counted as you just laughing maniacally, and then he says, "It took hundreds to kill me, but I killed humans by the thousands. Look at me! I am sublime! I am the true face of evil!" And then he finally falls over after everything. Holy crap! So he was a beast, he was a badass, and he held his station not by virtue of being intelligent, like someone like, say, the Joker would have, not by virtue of having inside knowledge or wisdom, like someone, I don't know, I can't actually think of an example, like Kuja, there we go, like Kuja would have, not by having some mystical power or an innate ability to be beyond people. No, he was just a badass, he was just a beast. I really don't have a better word for this. He was a monster. Brings me to my next point. This guy was evil. if the line I just said doesn't give it away obviously enough, this guy was an evil psychopath. And I'm not talking about evil in the sense that Kefka was evil. Kefka was nihilistic. He wanted to destroy everything because he just felt so utterly alone and empty, and I could go into that. That would be a whole other video just talking about Kefka. But no, Kefka was a different kind of evil. Sephiroth, different kind of evil. Very, very self-interested Sephiroth was. Sephiroth had his own gains that he wanted to obtain. He had his own motives. Most villains are of a more selfish variety, like Ultimecia, just to keep going with this FF theme I've got here. She wanted her own existence where nobody else was, or she would never die, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. No. Luca Blight wanted to kill people. If there was more motivation than that, I don't know it. He wanted to kill people, and he wanted to kill as many people as possible. He started the war by staging an incident where it looked like the other side killed the Youth Brigade. Now, when I say Youth Brigade, what's the first thing you think of? If you said Boy Scouts, congratulations, you win. Also, I'm talking like 10, 12-year-olds here. We're talking kids, which he butchered in order to start a war so he could butcher more people. Do I need to add anything to that? Even the Joker, in the most recent Batman and most adaptations where he's really psychotic, is a level of evil that doesn't quite approach this because he's just willing to do anything. That's the Joker's thing. He has no care for others or himself. He is just willing to do anything in order to accomplish his ends. Luca Blight was a monster. A complete monster. And he didn't have any subtlety about it. He didn't have any subterfuge about it. That little plan I just mentioned, that's about as devious as he got. And that's... in fact, I can't even think of another example of him trying to do anything other than wading into his enemies and cutting them down himself if need be. I mean, there's a scene I remember where there's a woman who's desperately begging for her life, and he says, "Okay, get down on your knees and cry like a little pig." And so she gets on her knees and starts oinking, and he stabs her to death, screaming, "Die, little pig!" Ah! Now, I'm running a little bit out of time here. I don't want to have a fourth video, so I'm going to wrap this up. Luca Blight was a complete monster. I've said that like 20 times, and it's absolutely true. He was a villain of epic proportions that has never really been seen since that I've seen. There have been villains who've had portions of his personality, but the combination of sheer violence, of evil hatred, of total lack of sophistication or intellect, and just the badass normal. I've never seen that, and Luca Blight is one of the most interesting, one of the best, one of the most memorable villains of all time. And yes, that is a very significant reason as to why Suikoden 2 is such a memorable game. Now, I should go ahead and get the rating out of the way, because, again, I'm running out of time. All things told, again, I can't rate it as much as it's actually worth, and it's not actually in my top 10, but it is definitely one of the greats. Personally, I'd go ahead and say Suikoden 2, $80, just off the top of my head. I might be lucky and be able to get that kind of a game, that game for that kind of a money, but I sincerely doubt it. So, take it or leave it. Suikoden 2, ladies and gentlemen.